Welcome back, students. So today we are going to discuss about construction of valuation table, which is part of valuation of real estate, chapter number 8. We have already covered this part in the previous sessions, but today we are going to focus on Excel sheet, how we can make use of Excel sheet formulas to solve these problems, and we will try to reiterate our concepts, like relearn the concept using examples and calculators, and then I will teach you using Excel sheet. There are three things. Number one, approximate method, like using Excel there are certain tricks. Under few examples I will explain you approximation methods as well. And then there are certain functions which you can use in Excel sheet to solve problems, complex problems, very quickly. And then we will also learn in certain situations how to solve numericals by entering formulas in Excel sheet. So it depends on type of question and situation, but one disclaimer here, like scientific calculators are not allowed in examination. Similar way, Excel sheet allowed in examination. Normally in that case functions are not enabled, but it's your luck. Sometimes you take your scientific calculator, and it's your, if you're lucky they may allow you, but as per guidelines you're not allowed to use scientific calculator. You should use simple calculator. And likewise Excel sheet, in my case they didn't allow me to use scientific calculator, and the Excel sheet which I had got in examination, functions were not enabled in that Excel sheet. So that's why I will teach you the function stuff, as well as if you do not get those functions enabled in the examination, how you can solve with the help of examples by making templates. So that all we are going to cover in today's session. So this is the whole syllabus of real estate valuation, which carries 9 marks of theory and 26 up to 26 marks of case studies. So we have already covered entire topics, and this is the full syllabus. But today we are going to focus on construction and use of valuation tables, especially with the help of Excel sheet. So basically these are the 6 types of, or maybe 5 types of valuation tables which we normally use. First, future value of 1 rupee invested, then present value of 1 rupee invested, then future value of 1 rupee invested annually. That is third situation. Fourth situation, present value of 1 rupee invested annually. Correct. And the fifth situation is that present value of 1 rupee invested with dual rate. What is dual rate? Capitalization rate and sinking fund rate, SFF, sinking fund factor. So sinking fund, like if you are new to this channel and you have not gone through other theory aspects of this chapter, then you are wasting your time here. You should clear your concepts about what terminologies we are using it. So my assumption is that you have already done theory of this chapter, and now we are teaching only Excel sheet. So I will not focus on concepts. Instead, I will focus on Excel sheet in this session, assuming that all concepts are clear to you. If those concepts are not clear, please don't go with this session, and first have your concepts clear. And if you are going to join my classes, you can make points of your doubts, and then we can discuss in the class. And if you're not going to join my online classes, in that case you can rewatch this video again and again to clear your doubts. So first thing is like future value of 1 rupee invested. So it is nothing but compound interest formula. So just remember this thing with a like we already know compound interest formula. It's class 7, class 8 question numerical. So just correlate with future value. Whenever a customer, like a examiner, asks for future value of certain amount, you have to calculate future value with the help of compound interest formula. What is that? So if P is the principal, R is rate of interest, and N is number of interest. So what will be the gross amount receivable, which is A? Like we invest principal at 0 year, what will be the value after N year, which is A, at rate of interest R? So this is the gross like compound interest formula we already know. So no need to explain this thing. It's a very simple formula. So let us understand this thing with the help of an example. What is the gross amount receivable that you will receive after 10 years if you invest 50,000 rupees at rate of interest of 3% compounded annually? So I always tell that first of all you should write whatever information is given in the question data given. This is 50,000 principal amount, rate of interest is 3%, it's 0.03, and number of years 10%. So if you enter all these values into this formula, you get answer 67,195. Now let us understand the same formula with the help of Excel sheet. So let us try to solve this example with the help of Excel sheet. So as I always tell, whenever you open your Excel sheet, you should make your format like this. What does that mean? On top left corner, you should write data given, and then here you should write whatever the questions you have. The examiner is asking for what questions from your side, and then I will from learning perspective, if functions are enabled, I will teach you with the help of function. However, in this particular case, we will not use function because it's a very simple calculation. So we will use formula in Excel sheet. The formula we have already explained because it's a simple compound interest formula. So there is no requirement of function to unnecessarily to make complicate things. So let us go to question and understand what data is given. So in this question, we have been given period. Let us write period, which is n, 10 years. And what next information is given? The amount invested at present, like principal amount. P, how much is it? 50,000 rupees. Let us make it number. So this is 50,000. Then third is rate of interest. Why? Which is R, 3%. 3%. And 1 ROI. Now what is the question? Gross amount receivable, so future value. Future value is to be calculated. So now we know the formula for future value, which is equal to, this is the formula. So P, which is this cell, multiply by bracket open 1 plus rate of interest is R, bracket close, raised to power period. So this is the value 67,196 answer. Right. So let us compare it with the answer. So you see 67,195. So here 67,196. So we are matching with our answer. So this is how you can calculate. So let us understand future value concept with the help of one more example, which is little bit which is similar but language is different. So an investor purchases a land of 20 lakh rupees with the intent of selling the plot after 5 years with expectations of 6% annual return. So calculate value of plot after 5 years. So basically 20 lakh rupees is the amount the buyer has paid today, and he want to keep that property for the next 5 years, and he is expecting a 6% rate of return. So now the examiner is asking what should be the value of the plot after 5 years to meet investors' expectation. So I would again tell my students to hold this slide, like put a pause on this slide, try to solve it of your own, and then see solution on next slide. Try to solve it with the help of calculator first, and see next slide. We will discuss the solution, and then we will rediscuss the same solution with the help of Excel sheet. Please pause it here. So now we know the formula, which is like gross value after 5 years is equal to P plus 1 plus R raised to power n. So this is the data given in question, and if we enter all these values, so we get value of answer is 27 lakh 76,451. This is the future value of the land after 5 years, assuming 6% rate of return on the property and initial investment of 20 lakh rupees. Let us understand this concept with the help of Excel sheet. So you see, this is the template which we made for example 1. Since same formula is going to be used by us, so let us use same Excel sheet and first enter data which is given in the question. So data given is in this slide. So okay, so here let us delete this amount. So first of all, an investor purchases a land of 20 lakh rupees. So P is principal amount, like initial investment is 20 lakh rupees. So here P is 20 lakh, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is the investment INR. Then period is 5 years. 5 years. And then ROI is, rate of interest is 6%. And again, we have to calculate future value of the property after 5 years. So question answer is to be, question ask is future value. So now you see the same formula we applied here, and it has given value of 26,76,451. So which is now matching with it, correct? So the thing is that in examination also you can create such templates and you can just keep on changing values. So then you will easily get, need not to calculate every time. Say I put 10 lakh rupees here. So you get your new value. You see this value is getting changed, future value. So your rate of interest is getting 5%. So 12%, 12 lakh, 76,000. So you can create this template for you in examination. It's very fast, very easy to calculate all future values. You may be required to calculate future value in multiple examples, multiple case studies. Now let us try to understand how to calculate present value of 1 rupee invested with a single receipt. So we have already learned, this formula. The present value of 1 rupee invested is nothing but 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power n. So this is the, and if we like if we talk about say 10,000 rupees, present value of 10,000 rupees, a certain amount C, which keep remain invested for n years, and the rate of interest is say r percent, then the present value of this C amount today is PVC. This is the formula. So this is both formulas are similar. Let us understand this formula with the help of example and then with the help of Excel sheet as well. So what is the present value of agriculture land let out for 30 years, assuming plot value after 30 years will be 16 lakh rupees and expected ROI is 5%. So as usual, always write data given in the question, which is C, like capitalized value of the land after 30 years is 16 lakh rupees, which is given in the question. Rate of interest is 5%, again given in question, and period is 30 years. So if we enter all these values into the formula which we discussed in previous slide, the present value of this 16 lakh rupees, considering 5% rate of interest and 30 years of period, the present value is 3.7 lakh. Let us calculate same value with the help of Excel sheet. So here in this case, we will explain how to calculate this value with the help of that formula using Excel, and we will also talk about function. Like if you're lucky and your Excel sheet which you have got in exam has been enabled with function, then it's easy. You can directly use some function like PV function to calculate the value without putting these formulas. You need not to remember this thing, but this is a risk you have to carry on your shoulders. You may not be allowed to use functions in Excel sheet, so you should know both of them. So as usual, first go to question and write. First step is write data given in the question. Let us go to question first. So here is the question. Okay. So in this case, the data is given in the question is like value of plot is 16 lakh rupees. C. C is 16 lakh 00000. This is the value. Let us put comma on that for better understanding. So remove decimal from here. So it's INR. Okay. After that, rate of interest R is 5%. Okay. 5% annual rate of interest. Annual ROI. And then third is period. N 30 years. Years. This is data given. Now, what is to be calculated? PV. Present value. PV is to be calculated. So let us first calculate this value with the help of formula. So basically, let us formula first. Sorry. Okay. So let us use this formula first, basically, and then calculate present value of 1 rupee. 1 rupee. So this formula is nothing but 1 divided by bracket open 1 plus rate of interest R bracket close raised to power 30. So this is the present value. Let us put decimal here. This is the present value of 1 rupee after 30 years, considering 5% rate of interest. So now present value of rupees 16 lakhs is nothing but this above factor multiply by 16. 370. So here it is. Right. So this is answer number 1. It is matching with the answer. I'll show you. Answer 1. So you see 370. Here also 370. Let us directly calculate this amount. PV rupees 16 lakh. So with the help of formula, this formula, this formula. So here, what is C? C is this amount divided by bracket open 1 plus R raised to power raised to power 30. You see, this is answer number 2. Okay, so they both are matching. And let us calculate with the help of function formula now. If you don't remember this formula, then with the help of function, present value rupees 16 lakh. So equal to present value PV, short form is PV, bracket open. Now it will ask for this information. So this is rate of interest. First is rate of interest, which is capitalization rate. Just remember this thing. Then NPAR, NPER, which is like number of period, number of years. This is this cell. Then PMT, leave it blank. And then future value 16 lakhs, this cell. And then type. So this is 99.99% in the examinations, it will be 0. Why? So 0 means at the end of the period. So say we are going to get the 16 lakh at the end of 30th year. Then this value is 0. But if examiner specifically say that you will get the 16 lakh rupees at the beginning of the year, in that case you have to select 1. So if examiner is silent whether you will get this money at beginning or end of the year, then you have to assume this money will be received at the end of the year, not at beginning of the year. So that's why we consider always 0. until unless it is specifically said that you have to take out money, the money we will receive at the beginning of the year, which is rare of rarest kind of thing in IBB exam. Let us see how much is the value. So you see, so we got exactly same amount, 3,70,204. Here you have to ignore sign, but the answer is same, correct? So this answer 1, answer 2, and answer 3. Answer 1, answer 2, and answer 3. So both are same. So now let us understand next concept of future value of 1 rupee invested annually. So till now we have talked about present value and future value of 1 rupee invested once. Now we are talking about series of payment. Like you invest 1 rupee at every year for a certain number of years, then what will be the future value? So it is nothing but a GP series, geometric progression, sum of GP series, which we have learnt in class 8 or class 9. So this is the, you know, GP series, like first year, second year, third year, fourth year interest, and sum total of GP series is nothing but this formula. If you open this formula, so this is the answer. So just try to remember that future value of 1 rupee invested is nothing but sum of GP series. So with that, you can easily, remember this formula, and you will not forget this thing. So let us understand with the help of example. So a person saves 10,000 rupees annually for next 30 years and invest it at 7% interest. What will be the gross capital yield at the end of 30 years? Correct. So now data given in the question is R is given, which is 7%. Number of year N is 30. So APA in this, if you put formula, the 94.46% is APA. Since 10,000 is a capital amount, if we multiply this 94.46 with 10,000 rupees annual return, annual income, the value of the property is 9,44,607 rupees. Let us understand the same example with the help of Excel sheet. So again, we have to write data given in the question. What is that? Annual amount is 10,000 rupees. What is this annual amount is C. C is 10,000 INR. Then next is R, which is 7%. 7%. Just make it percentage. 7%. Okay. Annual ROI. And then what is period? And number of years, 30 years. Years. Now what is the value to be taken out? So this is, I would say, annual income for better clarity. See. Right. So this. So now we have to calculate future value of annuity. I presume that you know what is annuity. So annuity is like 10,000 rupees every year for next 30 years. So using this formula, if we calculate APA of this formula using this formula given here, like present value of 1 rupee invested for next 30 years, considering 7% interest, will be equal to, so it is bracket 1 plus R bracket close raised to power period bracket close minus 1 bracket close divided by R. So this is 94. Let us take it to 2 decimal. This is the APA, and then gross amount, gross value will be equal to nothing but APA multiplied by 10,000. This is the value. This is answer 1. You see, this is matching with it. 9,44,607, 944,608. So if we calculate this same thing directly without calculating APA, gross value, like present value, rupees 10,000 and K per annum. What is the value? So C is annual amount multiply by bracket 1 plus R bracket close raised to power number of years bracket close, sorry, minus 1 bracket close minus 1 and then bracket close divide by R. So again we got same amount. This is answer 2. Correct. Now let us solve this problem with the help of direct function. So present value rupees 16 lakh. So we have to use value function of FV, future value function. Type FV and bracket open. Then first it will ask for rate of interest. Rate of interest given in this question is 7%. Cell. Then number of period 30 years. Then PMT. PMT is amount of annuity which is to be deposited every year. So this is 10,000 rupees. There is no, the present value is always 0 here. Maybe you can leave it blank. And then period I always said 0. Now you see. So you again got same value. Just ignore symbol sign and then answer 3. So all 3 answers are same and matching with the answer we had calculated with the help of Excel calculator. Now, after solving future value of 1 rupee invested annually, let us understand what is the present value of 1 rupee invested annually. So, the formula is similar. We derive from future value formula. So, first of all, we calculate APA. Like first calculate future value of annuity. Like in previous example, we understood. So, this was the formula. And then we get a future value of the value and then capitalize it. That is a single cash flow. Then you capitalize it to a present value. So if you divide this APA divided by 1 plus R raised to power n, then you get this formula. So you need not to remember. Just remember 2 formulas, compound interest and second is sum of GP series. If you know these 2 formulas, you can calculate, you can make all these tables with the help of these 2 simple compound interest and GP series summation formula. That's all. You need not to remember all these formula. You can derive these formulas in the examination. And if the number of year is, very large, maybe 99 years is a perpetual lease, perpetual income, maybe 99 years and above, then no need to remember this formula. Just simply year purchase is equal to 1 divided by R, or value of property is equal to C divided by R. So this is very simple, straightforward. Even if the number of year is more than 50 or 60 years, this approximate formula do work. So when we will solve the example, we will try to solve it with the approximate method and full exact method and also using function. So you will understand how you can quickly do this, solve this problem without wasting much of time. So this is the example. A residential house yields net annual rent of 3,000 rupees. If income ceases after 40 years, which is future life of the building, what is the present value of the property at 7% ROI? So in this data given is C is 3,000 rupees per year per year. So and number of period is 40 years. So next 40 years, the owner of the house will get 3,000 rupees per year, and the expected rate of interest is 7%. So we have already learned the formula, and if we put these values into this formula, we get year purchase of 13.32. If we multiply it with 3,000 rupees, which is annual net operating income from the property, or net annual rent, whatever may be, so we get actual value of these 3,000 rupees capitalized 39,966 rupees. Let us understand this concept with the help of Excel sheet using function and using that formula. So again, I have copied that formula for convenience on this Excel sheet here. This for remembrance. Again, we will first write data given in the question, which is C. If you go to question, C like annual rent, net annual rent, which is C is equal to 3000 rupees INR. The next is number of years, period, and 40 years. Then rate of interest R, how much is it? 7%. That means annual rate of interest. Now what you have to calculate? Present value of annual cash flow. Present value of future annual cash inflow. So if we calculate using formula, let us first calculate year purchase of rupees 1. So you using this formula, if you enter these values into this formula, what is that? So bracket 1 minus bracket one divided by bracket 1 plus rate of interest raised to power n bracket close and then bracket close divided by r. So this is the value of year purchase. Now value of property, present value of rupees 3000, multiply this year purchase with net annual income. So it is 39,995. Proceed with. This is the answer. Right? So answer 1. So this is one method. Now let us try, this is a exact method. Let us solve it with approximate method. So instead of, we know this for a perpetual income. However, this formula is accurate for like large period, 99 years and above. However, if you don't have time and the answers given in the question are not very near, very close, then also you can, use this approximate formula to save your time in case you're running out of time and you don't have any choice and you have to make intelligent guess near about that. You can also, try this formula. So if we go with if we calculate year purchase using approximate method, the value will be 1 divided by R. 1 divided by R is 7%. So you see 14. So if decimal, so it's 14.29. Right? So it's not accurate because the period is 40 years. That's why. But otherwise, it will be nearby. So we'll change. We'll retest it. Then if we calculate present value with this approximate method, then year purchase multiply by this. So this is approximate method. Correct. So now if we change this period 40 years to say 99 years. So you see. So the value is almost same. Year purchase and approximate and exact method both are same. If you make it 60 years, you see still nearby. 42,188, 42,800. So approximate. So if it is more than 50, you can make an intelligent guess. If it's 99 years, it's almost 100% accurate, the approximate method. So now let me show you that if you get a example of 5 years, say a period of 5 years, correct? And then how you can calculate with the help of NPV like function. You can use it for 40 years as well, but just to keep it simple, for 5 years, we are calculating present value 3000 5 years. So we have to use function formula and PV. Then bracket open. The rate of interest is 7% here. Now it is asking for value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the cash flow value in first year? We have to enter here. Because it is same, we will enter same value here. Fourth year and then fifth year. You see, so it is matching, right? So if we go with 5 years, so exact method 12,301 and 12,301. Now we can talk about another situation. Like examiner gives you a question that first year you are expected to get 3,000 rand. Second year 4,000. Third year 4,500. Say fourth year, say 4,650 rupees. And fifth year, say 4,875. So this is the rent which you are expecting in next 5 years. So what is the present value of these 5 years rent? If that is situation, how to calculate? Because you cannot use this formula. This formula will not work here. So in that case, you can use NPV function. So let us calculate NPV here in this situation. So it is like PV 5 years different income. So we'll use NPV formula. NPV bracket 7%, and then first year cash flow is 3, second year 4, third year 4,500, fourth year 4,650, fifth year this amount. So you see, so the value of this present value of this different 5 year cash flow is 16,994. So you may get little bit complicated question, and if you have access to these functions, it's very convenient to solve it with the help of Excel. Now let us talk about last concept of today's session, which is very important in terms of sinking fund factor, dual rate of interest, present value of 1 rupee invested over a period of years with a dual rate of interest. So I'm not focusing again on concepts because those concepts are already clear to you. We are focusing on Excel sheet here. So this is basically capitalized value of 1 rupee invested to be received 1 year for next n number of years, and with a remunerative rate of interest of IC, and considering annual sinking factor of rupees 1 to recoup 1 rupees after n number of years, considering recoupment rate of interest of IS. So there will be two rate of interest here. One for recoupment rate like sinking fund, for recouping the sinking fund, and the other one is remunerative or expected rate of interest. So first you have to calculate ASF or SFF, sinking fund factor. Theory has already been explained in theory section previous, so we're not going for that. So this is the formula for sinking fund. So we will learn calculation of sinking fund with the help of direct formula in Excel and using function as well. Once you calculate SFF, then you have to calculate yield purchase or year purchase, dual rate. This is simple formula. There is no function required, function formula required for this. And then you can multiply this ASF, this yield purchase, with annual income of the property to calculate value of asset. So let us understand, and before we go for a jump to the example, let me briefly tell you about sinking fund factor. Just to refresh our concept, sinking fund is a basically amount which we need to, do certain set of expense. For example, we have a building, and as a valuer we see, okay, after 10 years this building may need repair in terms of changing of floor or maintenance of roof, replacement of roof, or something else like painting of whole building. So you need to have certain amount of fund, maybe 50,000, 1 lakh rupees after 5 years of period. So now you have to keep aside certain amount of money to accumulate that 50,000 rupees after 5 or 10 years of period. That is the amount which you require after a certain period of time is sinking fund. And the amount which you are required to keep aside to accumulate 1 rupee after that period is called sinking fund factor. And this is the formula, correct? So this is an example. Advice on purchase price of fully developed rental building yielding net rent of 18,000 rupees per year. So there is a building which gives 18,000 rupees of annual rent, net annual rent. If you are not clear on net annual rent, you should go to the previous session where we had discussed about gross deduction, gross rent, outgoings and rent, and then total rent minus outgoing is equal to net annual rent. Expected rate of return is 10% and future life of the building is 50 years. So ROI, like remunerative rate of interest, is 10% here, and life period is 50 years, and recoupment rate is 4%. So wherever recoupment word is used in the example or case study, your antenna should get activated, and you should understand that there is an application of sinking fund factor. If you see, examiner will not tell you directly that sinking fund factor you have to apply. So you have to smell that recoupment word is used. This is a keyword. That means the sinking fund factor is applicable. And if two interests are given, again there is a hint that most likely sinking fund factor has to be used in this question. So again, data given in the question is net annual rent 18,000 rupees, expected ROI is 10%, recoupment rate 4%, and period is 50 years. So again, I will ask my students to pause this video here, try to solve it with the help of simple calculator, and then we will try to solve it with the help of a solution given on next slide. And then after that we will solve the same example with the help of Excel using function and direct formula both. This is solution. First, we have to calculate SFF, annual sinking fund factor or sinking fund factor. Both are same using this formula, which is 0.0065. IS and N, recoupment rate, correct? And then dual rate, yield purchase, which is nothing but 1 plus 1 divided by 10% plus SFF. So it is 9.389. Net annual income is given 18,000 rupees. So if you multiply with 18,000 with this yield purchase, or yield purchase dual rate, you get value of the property as 1,69,000 rupees. Let us try to solve this question with the help of Excel sheet. Okay, for convenience, I have taken a screenshot of that formula on this Excel sheet, and the students who join our classes, we provide this template to those students for their practice. But you can, just for learning, you can have a view of this session here. So first of all, you have to write data given in the question. So in this question, we have been given annual rent, annual net rent, NOI, which is 18,000 INR rupees. Right? Then second is expected ROI, expected rate of return, expected ROI, which is nothing but IC 10%, annual rate of interest, annual ROI. Then recoupment rate, recoup rate, IC, IS is 4%, annual ROI. And then last is period, 50 years. Years. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate present value of annuity. This future amount considering recoupment rate, sinking fund as well. So if we calculate using formula, so ASF or SFF, the formula for is this IS divided by 1 plus IS bracket close raised to power n bracket close minus 1 bracket close. So this is the value 65550. Okay, so the same value. If we see answer here, 0.00655. So let us write it here, 0.0065. Correct. And then yield purchase is nothing but sinking fund factor. Sorry, 1 divided by 1 divided by expected ROI plus sinking fund factor. So it is 9.3896. You see, 9.389. So say 9.389. Okay. So value of property is nothing but net annual income. So net annual income is 18,000 rupees multiply with year purchase dual rate. So this is dual rate, right? So say 169. So this is the answer, right? So it is matching with our solution 169, 169. So this is using direct formula. Now let us understand with the help of function how you can calculate. So we calculate this ASF or SFF with the help of function in Excel sheet if those are enabled and you're lucky. What is the function? You have to use PMT function for that. And then first you have to enter recoupment rate. Recoupment, then period 50, then present value has to be blank, put it 0 here, and then future value has to be always 1 because it's a recoupment rate. After an n number of years, you want to accumulate 1 rupee, right? And then end of the year 0. So if you enter here, so it is matching with say, so it is again, you have to ignore this symbol sign and then 00655, correct? 65, say. So now yield purchase dual rate 1 divided by 1 divided by, we'll use this formula. There is no function for this. No, it's a simple formula. Just use it. 1 divided by rate of interest plus this SFF. So say 9.389. Say then value of property, which is yield purchase or year purchase multiply by NOI. 169. So it's rupees 169. So this answer, this is like answer 1. This is answer 1. It is matching with answer 2. They both answer are perfect. This is with the help of function. This is without using function. Thank you very much for watching this session again. I hope you must have learned how to use Excel sheet formula without using function and with using functions, and you must be feeling more confident in terms of solving problems. If you still have any doubt, you can note down those doubts and we'll discuss in our online classes who have purchased our online classes. But otherwise, you can just rewind this video and try to understand these concepts. If you are clear on these conceptual things, you can solve any case study, especially the income approach and cost approach. So those are very simple. You can easily crack case study 26 marks. So one more time, if you like this session, please like this video, give a thumbs up to us, and do your comment. Please give me your comments to motivate us so that we can provide more content, especially on Excel sheet. So I'm also providing content in Hindi, which is a separate membership subscription. But in English, we have already covered entire theory, but this is Excel sheet, first Excel sheet we are covering, and in days to come, I'll put more Excel sheet case studies, solution of case studies with the help of Excel sheet. So please like it and keep watching. Thank you.